Let's take a look at another type of verbal analogy. In this type of verbal analogy, we're going to be looking at parts and whole, and sometimes whole and parts. So the challenge will be deciding if the relationship between the first two words is parts and whole, or if the relationship between the first two words is whole and parts. Let's take a look to practice. All right, take a look at this first one. Car is to steering wheel. So let's think and decide if car is to steering wheel is parts to whole or whole to parts. Car is to steering wheel. The relationship is whole to parts. Car is the whole, steering wheel is the part. So again, in this analogy, we're going from whole to part. So if car is to steering wheel is whole is to part, then house is to blank needs to also be whole is to part. And I can verbalize this, remember, to help myself. I could say a car has a steering wheel as a part. And using that same sentence, that same structure, I could say a house has a blank as a part. So look at our answer choices and show me with your fingers what you're thinking. Show me a 1 for A, a 2 for B, or a 3 for C. Car is to steering wheel as house is to... All right, I hope you're showing me a 3 for C because the correct answer is door. Car is the whole, steering wheel is the part. House is the whole, door is the part. The relationship in this verbal analogy is whole to parts. Let's look at another one. Bicycle is to wheel. So let's think about it and decide. Bicycle is to wheel. What the relationship is. Is it whole to parts or parts to whole? The relationship here is whole to parts. Bicycle is the whole, wheel is the part. So I can verbalize this, turn it into a sentence. I could say a bicycle has a wheel, whole to parts. All right, so if bicycle is to wheel, then plane is to blank. So let's think about this. A bicycle has a wheel and a plane has a blank. Look at our answer choices and show me with your fingers what you're thinking. Show me a 1 for A, or a 2 for B, or a 3 for C. I hope you're showing me a 2 for B, which is wing. That's the correct answer. A bicycle is the whole, and it has a wheel as a part. A plane is the whole, and it has a wing as a part. All right, let's look at another one. Day is to week. All right, let's think about day and week. Let's decide if it's whole to parts or parts to whole. This time the relationship is parts to whole. A day is part of a whole week. So if our first two words are part to whole, our second two words need to also be in the relationship of parts to whole. So if day is part of a whole week, month is part of a whole, show me a 1 for A, or a 2 for B, or a 3 for C. Day is to week as month is to blank. All right, I hope you're showing me a 2 for B, which is the word year, because that's the correct answer. A day is part of a whole week, and a month is part of a whole year. All right, look at this one. Letters is to alphabet. So let's decide if the relationship is whole to parts or parts to whole. This time the relationship is parts to whole. Letters are part of the whole alphabet. The English alphabet has 26 letters, so each individual letter is part of the whole alphabet. All right, so we're going from part to whole at the beginning of the analogy, so we need to go from part to whole at the end of the analogy. So if letters are part of the whole alphabet, as words are part of the whole blank. Look at our answer choices. Show me with your fingers what you're thinking. Show me a 1 for A, or a 2 for B, or a 3 for C. I hope you're showing me a 3 for C, which is sentence, because that is the correct answer to complete the analogy. Letters are part of the whole alphabet, and words are part of the whole sentence. All right, let's do a couple more. Human is to leg. So let's decide if it's whole to parts or parts to whole. This time the relationship is whole to parts. Human is the whole and leg is the part. So if we're going from whole to parts at the beginning of the analogy, we need to go from whole to parts at the end of the analogy. So human is to leg as fish is to blank. Whole to part. So look at our answer choices and show me with your fingers what you're thinking. You know what to do. Show me a 1 for A, or a 2 for B, or a 3 for C. And don't let them trick you with the answer choices. Remember, we're looking at whole to parts in this analogy. Human is to leg as fish is to... I hope you show me a 1 for A, which is fin. That's the correct answer. Human is the whole, leg is the part. Fish is the whole, fin is the part. All right, let's do one more. Foot is to toes. So let's decide if foot is to toes is whole to parts or if it's parts to whole. Think about it for just a second. Foot is to toes. All right, this time the relationship is whole to parts. Foot is the whole, toes are the parts. So you could say a foot has toes. All right, so we're going from whole to parts. So let's do that same thing at the end of the analogy. So foot is to toes as flower is to blank. So again, we're going from whole to part, and we said a foot has toes and a flower has blank. So look at our answer choices. We're choosing the very best answer, the answer that makes the strongest relationship. So show me with your fingers what you're thinking. Show me a 1 for A, or a 2 for B, or a 3 for C. All right, the answer here is 2, which is letter B, or the word stem. That is the correct answer. So foot is the whole, toes are the parts, flower is the whole, and stem is the part. So in these verbal analogies, we were looking at whole to parts or parts to whole.